Hello, guys, and welcome to Miss German Let's Talk. We dive into the wildest, funniest, and darkest Reddit stories. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get into today's episode. So I got some messages from you guys concerning the last episode because I stopped in the middle of storytelling, and I just gotta take position in here. And again, if you want to see what video I'm talking about, please look at my channel. That was the video about the little dating experiences that you guys had with some Tinder girls. Um, and we commented on that, and there was one story that went out of proportion. Again, guys, just for keeping the originality of the stories, I am not really reading the stories in forward because I want to keep the live reaction. I want to keep the real emotions into that video. So I am sorry for that, but I'm also not sorry for that because I just like open up some questions that most of the Reddit users have. And we are looking at the stories together because I want to keep it authentic. I wanted to keep it real. I wanted to give you my live reaction. And with that said, let's start with this episode. So, this time we have what is your small town dark secret stories. So, last time there was like some videos that I posted before that was about the urban legend stories. I really like those stories that were back then. So, we're making like a kind of similar videos with other stories about what is your small town dark secrets stories. Let's get right into it. We have one user who write down, I don't know if it's considered as dark secret, but in the county I lived in from age 10 to 18, we had a soldier die under extreme questionable circumstances. They said he was high drunk, experiencing mental distress, and raided a nursery, the plant kit. They claimed he was attacked by wasps and ran. He called 911 several times and claimed that someone was chasing him and was trying to kidnap him. In the last 911 call, he said everything was fine suddenly. Just 15 minutes later, he was struck by a woman who stopped and called 911. He was ran over 2 more times and died. The autopsy showed no signs of bee or wasp stings. The connection to the nursery is due to the fact that it was just up the road from where he died. The place was ransacked, pizza eaten, money taken, but his wallet and phone were sitting on the counter undisturbed. However, the family was not okay with that explanation, especially because he had previously texted that there were some problems with the local boys. Since the soldier wasn't from this part of the state, so the family had a private investigator look into it. They analyzed the 911 recordings and found several instances of other people talking in the background. Thought most of it couldn't be made out except one. In the 911 call where he told the operator that everything was fine, a male voice could be heard saying, "Tell her." In the nursery, there was no DNA, no fingerprints, no footprints that led back to the soldier. Even thought his phone and wallet were there in the building. A lot of people, his family included, think he was killed by some of the local guys. There after they got into a fight about something. They chased him down and caught him. He was able to run again after the final 911 call and was hit by a driver while trying to get help, and the police in the county covered the entire thing up because the boys involved were connected to the department somehow. Of the 3 drivers, none were charged for running over him. I think only the first driver stopped, but it was discovered that one of the other drivers was connected to the department either through family or friendship. It's a crazy story, but you can look it up. Just search. I'm not going to tell you guys, but it wouldn't be too surprised since there's a lot of shady stuff happening in small town police departments, including covering up specific activities that officers commit. I really hope this family gets him justice. That is a very mad story, really. Like, I personally never heard about in my vicinity about some crimes getting covered up by the departments or stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure that those things always happen around us. That either the government, either the department is covering something up for whatever sort of reason that people disappear. It may seem like very, very, very logical to me, because they can be a potential threat. Now, I'm very sorry for the soldier because as the story is told, I feel like the it's just a sense. Of course, we don't know the facts or what's going on. We don't have any proofs, or we don't know what's going on. But I feel like the soldier is not in that he went through a very sad end of his life because he probably didn't do anything, and those local boys, how it's stated in the whole story, um, are just like are just purely evil and did something terrible to him. So I'm very sorry as well for the family, and I hope they got justice for it. But write me down in the comment below. What do you think? What happened? Next story. Another dark secret story we're having here. Um, Also pretty sad. A freshman with Asperger's was being abused by his family at home. He was a problem child and got into trouble on purpose, but no one went too hard on him because of his home life. He was a well-loved kid at school and in the community. One day, just before holiday break in December, he was really sick, but his mom sent him to school anyway. We know this, of course. The mother who was like, "No, I don't care what you have, you go to school anyways," locked him out of the house. He decided to try and get into one of the empty houses down the street, through the chimney. Now the kid was the size of a second grader, but he was too big to fit through since chimneys tappers down thinner. Mom never answered her phone when the school reported him missing, went a whole day without reporting her kid missing. No one knew what had happened to him. It was about a month and a half before we knew what happened to him. We all thought he ran away, was alive somewhere, maybe went to his sister's house. Nope, dead in the chimney. The school organized an entire week of counseling and such. They wore pink for a day and hangled devil. I don't know if that's an English word or if there's a type error, but they wore all pink ribbons on pins for him since his favorite color was pink. Everyone was hit really hard by it. That's how our small town started 2020. It hasn't gotten any better, as you can see. So weird. It's almost been a year now. And that story was 5 years ago from now on. That is a very sad story. And I'm pretty sure some of us have heard in the news about this little kid. I don't want to say any names or anything, but I remember there've been like I think years ago like a story about a child who's been found after years in the chimneys. So parents, if you ever see that video, please do not let your children be near a chimney ever, or tell them that the Santa Claus is not coming through a chimney, and that's very dangerous to ever think to go up in there because you can get stuck and nobody will find you, because most of us people who are trying to find a child would not you know look into there. Obviously the police would not think about that, and they would think the child run off. I hope that this kind of experience would never ever happen to any child ever again, and we pray for that, and we continue with the next story. Okay, here we have a guy who says, "The town I was raised in wasn't exactly small, but here's the one dark secret I know. My hometown was where lots and lots of sport players had their mansions. And so, of course, their wives and children were out and about in the community a lot. Every single sport player wife in that town was, or is, heavily addicted to opioids. Every single one. Opioids addiction is obviously an epidemic all over the country, but among the rich wives in the town, it had a 100% infection rate, so to speak. I know because one of my friend's mom was the hairdresser for basically every single one of those wives. I was homeless my senior year of HS, and one of the sports player wives heard about me from her, and she gifted me an iPhone. That phone was a penny. to her, but I still wish I'd expressed my thanks more because that wife died of an overdose not long after. Sorry, it wasn't much dark of a story, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's dark, but it's again a very sad story because I should call this video the saddest story heard on Reddit because opiate addiction or in general drug addictions are can like completely destroy your life and you can end up homeless and you can like destroy your body, so kids don't do drug. That's just not fun. Next story. And we will end with a very small little story saying about 30 years ago, a local 8-year-old girl went missing during the annual carnival downtown. After a few days, they found a suspect that was seen near the girl right before she went missing. The guy confessed to her horrific murder and her torture. He was the kid's next door neighbor and friends to the kid's dad. I spare the details, but it was really bad. He was convicted and sentenced for 40 years or so. After 8 years, he was paroled and returned to the same house with his parents. Right next door, laws were a bit different then, to the family of the girl and former friend. About a week later, the man never showed up at his parole office. His parents filed a missing persons report. Rumors has that several friends of the victim father took care of him. If you talk to them, they just say that they are sure he won't be back. Oh, we guys. So I don't know. We don't want to make assumption of what happened, but tell me guys down below in the comments because that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I'll be back soon with more crazy Reddit stories. See you next time. Bye.